Life's not fair, is it, my little friend? While some are born to feast, others spend their lives in the dark. Begging for scraps.
The original had a lot of physical comedy that this one couldn't do it because of the realism you wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how do you feel the comedy has made it in this film, and if you talked with Jon Favreau for the best way to keep it funny but keep it real.
Right. Oh, well, that was a big part of it. And one thing John and Seth Rogen and I talked about early on is that our voices and the tone of our comedy had to match this new aesthetic for this movie, how this movie looked, which was a much more photorealistic look than the original, which is more traditional 2D animation. And the original actors who did the voices for Timon and Pumbaa, Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabella, were coming off of a big Broadway show that they were doing at the time. And, Nathan has this larger-than-life, very theatrical, almost like vaudeville-inspired sensibility, and Seth Rogen and I come more from the improv comedy world. And I think the mixture of us coming from improv and the movie looking a bit more grounded, a lot more grounded and realistic, was a good mix. I think what we did matches the look of this particular version of it.
Well, some of the jokes had to change in order to be more realistic,
Yeah.
and there's particularly one that I assume that being a Broadway fan, you should have a blast recording it without giving it away.
Yes.
How did you feel when they pitched it to you?
That was
joke?
Jon Favreau's idea,
Yeah.
and you never know. It was a big, bold idea. It could have gone either way, and then at the premiere was the first time I saw it, and it got a huge reaction from the audience. And I think Disney fans in particular love things like that.
Yeah.
The Lion King on Broadway has a shout out to Frozen, so this is us doing our version of that. And it was John's idea, and luckily it worked.
Yeah, it works. It really works.
People liked it. Yeah.
I really loved what you said in a recent interview about wanted more LGBT characters in animated features, and I'd like to know if you think that Hollywood is ready to maybe ignore those groups of people that aren't a lot of people, but they are really loud. That, for example, every time that the rumor that Elsa is going to get a girlfriend in a Frozen sequel,
Right.
they went mad. And do you
Yeah.
think Hollywood is ready to go for diversity and shine from all those critiques?
I do. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there pretty quickly. And I think that, like you said, the people that complain about that, they're very vocal and loud on social media, but there are increasingly fewer and fewer of them in America and in the world. And yeah, I mean, the point of movies and pop culture in general is to reflect reality and all different types of people. And I actually think making these movies more diverse and putting LGBT characters in these movies, even family films, it reflects reality. It makes them more exciting, makes it more interesting. And yeah, I definitely think we're getting there, and I think we'll get there pretty soon.
Jon Favreau let you improv in Seth and You and to get your own Timon and Pumbaa. I'd like to know if you were able to maintain the family PG humor, or if it went nuts and you had to. We are in The Lion King, not.
Yeah. Well, luckily we recorded for hours and hours, and late at night you start to go get loopy and go crazy, and of course none of that stuff was used in the final movie. But sometimes just to make ourselves laugh, we didn't censor ourselves, knowing that a lot of it would not end up in the movie. But what Seth and I are very proud of is that what is in the movie, it doesn't feel watered down. It doesn't feel like a diluted version of what we ordinarily do. A lot of these jokes I would put in any movie that I did, even one for adults. And so I think we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
You must take your place in the circle of life.
A wee moe, 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 a wee moe.